Hi, everyone, and a pleasant good evening to you wherever you may be. Back here in Coffeyville as the Fort Scott Lady Tigers are just about ready to get things underway with the Parsons Lady Vikings here in match 2 of the evening for Fort Scott. Lady Tigers defeated Coffeyville in 2 sets earlier tonight, 25-18 and 25-19. So Fort Scott improves to 6-23 on the season, 2-7 in SEK League play with that win earlier this evening. Now they'll take on Parsons, who is coming in at 13-18 overall and 4-4 in the SEK, and defeated Fort Scott in 2 sets in Parsons earlier this season. They also swept Fort Scott in the Erie tournament back on September 21st. So we'll see what Fort Scott can do here. Again, they are still within a reasonable shot of getting into a sub-state, but they're going to have to win some games here down the stretch. They've already defeated Coffeyville. They're chasing Labette County, who is currently right now in the 16th spot at 6-22 overall. Lady Tigers now at 6-23, so a half game behind Labette County without knowing what Labette County has done in their matches tonight. I believe, I said this earlier, I believe that Chanute, Indy, and Pittsburgh are all in Altamont tonight. I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly who Labette County is scheduled to play in that in those matches tonight. But we'll have 2 SEK League matches tonight. Should have 2 matches tonight, just like Fort Scott will. So we'll see after things get updated on the Acacia website later in the week where exactly Fort Scott evens out at. But again, they are chasing Labette County in 16th, Coffeyville in 15th. Baldwin is in 14th at 9-22. Lady Tigers with 5 matches left, or 4 now after their win earlier, so they cannot reach where Wamego is at 11-21 by the end of the regular season, but they could surpass a couple of those teams. And of course, Ottawa is currently in 17th. Just ahead of Fort Scott. So Fort Scott will have to pass Ottawa and one other team, but they've got the ability to do it. And we're underway here in set number 1 of match number 2 in the evening for the Fort Scott Lady Tigers. That one blocked by Fort Scott, but falls in for Parsons. The Vikings also wearing pink tonight. Their libero, Cadence Manners, is in white. Fort Scott in mainly white. Their libero is in red. Rayleigh Cowan. Ball deflected over the net. Now back row for Fort Scott. Come back near side, and that one is just a little bit too far out. So a quick 3-0 advantage for Parsons here. I think Fort Scott asking, maybe thought that it was hit at the net by one of the Parsons players, but the officials did not agree with that. Fort Scott, now they couldn't quite get it over the net that time. So 4-0 Parsons with a quick start to this opening frame here tonight. And Fort Scott has played them twice already, once in a tournament. once in the SEK regular season, and they lost in 2 sets both times to the Vikings. Parsons pretty athletic from what we saw on their home floor a few weeks ago. That one hit into the net by Parsons, so it'll give Fort Scott their first points of the evening. That one now blocked to the back corner, but kept alive by Parsons. They'll get it back over the net. Come near side, Fort Scott will. Now back row, Fort Scott gets it over the net. I believe that was Sadie Claypool getting the ball back across the net for the Lady Tigers. She's on the floor, playing that left outside hitter position right now. That one falls in there for Parsons, so a long rally goes to the Vikings. So Sadie Claypool, Kendall Aiken, and Kylie Comstock are all in the front row for the Lady Tigers right now. Dakota Hazelbaker. Rayleigh Cowan and Avery Stewart also in there for Fort Scott. Now they'll rotate as they get the point and serve back. And Claypool is the one going back to serve. That one into the net and stays on Fort Scott's side of the court. Lady Tigers sub here is Anna Farrington will come back in for Sadie Claypool. That one at the net, and it'll be Fort Scott point. Cowan back to serve now for the Lady Tigers. That one to the net, and they're going to say a net violation on Parsons. Trying to get it to Braylon Mitchell, one of the middles for the Lady Vikings, and she came with a head of steam to get to there, but I think that momentum carried her across the center line that time. Fort Scott back to within 2. Nice off-speed shot for the Lady Tigers, but it's dug by Parsons. Now it's blocked by Fort Scott, but blocked sideways and out of bounds, so Parsons will get the point. And that serve into the net for Parsons. So Fort Scott back to within 2, and Dakota will go back to serve. That one a little too long. So the teams continue to trade points here in set number 1. Fort Scott trailing by 3. And Chassie Baker back to serve. Fort Scott, nice recovery to get it across the net. Now they'll go back corner, and was that out of bounds? It was. So Fort Scott back to within 2, and Avery Stewart back to the service line. And that went out of bounds off of Parsons, so another Fort Scott point here. That one just a little bit long for the Lady Tigers. After Fort Scott gets it back tied, Parsons retakes a 1-point lead here. Nice job by Comstock, or excuse me, that was Clements getting it over the net. And now Parsons works towards the corner and gets it in there. So 2 straight for the Lady Vikings, has them back to a 2-point advantage at 10-8. And that was Sayla Ray with the kill that time for the Lady Vikings. So after Fort Scott gets it tied 8-8, Parsons able to get 3 straight points. Go far side to Ray again. That one blocked nearly into the net, but kept alive. Fort Scott gets it over. Now Lady Tigers back to defense. And that one off just a little bit. So now 5 straight points for Parsons. Fort Scott there in that little run to get it tied at 8. We're able to get Parsons out of system a little bit. And now the Lady Vikings getting Fort Scott out of system a little bit as their run continues. And now Fort Scott will take a timeout. So 14-8, Parsons leads here in set number 1. And Lady Tigers take their first time out. Liberty Savings has been in Fort Scott since 1919, helping community members with their banking needs for over 100 years. Visit them at 24 South Judson or call 620-223-0300. Quick timeout there for Coach Kevin Flanner, just trying to get his Lady Tigers reset a little bit. Parsons comes back with the point there. The ball comes near side. That went into the net for the Lady Tigers. So 8 straight points for Parsons. And they can't get Braylon Mitchell off the service line. I'll go far side. Played by Fort Scott, and nice block there by Parsons. Ayanna Robertson picking that up with a teammate. I believe Lauren Forbes was there with her as well. Now it is 17-8. Parsons with the lead. And Fort Scott's going to get it back here. And now Kinley Clements will go back to serve. Nice off-speed shot, but it's dug by Parsons. They'll come back to the middle and put a little angle on that one. I don't know that she meant to. Kara Haviland. I think it was more of a miss hit than anything, but it worked out for a Parsons point. That one blocked by the Lady Tigers. Kylie Comstock in there on that block. Fort Scott now 2 double digits. Kendall Aiken back to serve. Another Fort Scott block, but it stayed on Fort Scott's side of the court. They didn't close off the net quite as well as they did the previous time. Now Cadence Manners back to serve for Parsons. Long dig that time. Parsons able to keep it alive, but it's going to come sideways and out of bounds. So Fort Scott gets another point there. Now 19-11. And now Sadie Claypool back to serve for the Lady Tigers. Parsons will go far side with it. Nice block by Fort Scott as Hazel Baker and Clements both there. Excuse me, Comstock and Hazel Baker both there. Back to within 7. Fort Scott had this one tied at 8. This first set was tied at 8. And then Parsons put together 8 straight points. And now Fort Scott trying to make another run back to them as they've cut it to 6 at 19-13 here in set 1. Both teams having difficulty returning serve right now. That one blocked but out of bounds by Fort Scott. So Parsons is the first to 20 here in set number 1. Farrington checks back in. Sadie will come out for a quick breather. Farrington on the back row with Clements and Avery Stewart. Aiken, Hazel Baker, and Comstock all on the back row or front row right now for Fort Scott. That one nearly got over the net, but just a little bit too short. So Parsons with the advantage here, 21-13. That one loads up and comes across the court. Another kill for Avery Stewart and the Lady Tigers. Comstock will go back to serve now. Fort Scott trailing by a touchdown, 21-14. And that serve a little bit too short. So back over to the Lady Vikings. Off the block, but kept alive by Parsons. Fort Scott, nice little job, nice job to get it over the net that time. They'll come back near side. That one kept alive for the moment, but Fort Scott able to get the point. Set number 1 of match number 2 here this evening. That one finds the back corner for the Lady Vikings. So now they're 2 points away from taking this first frame. And Baker back to serve again for the Lady Vikings. That one is hit wide. Now set point for Parsons, leading at 24-15. And that one ended in the net, just a little bit too short for Kendall Aiken. And Parsons takes the opening frame here tonight, 25-15. We'll take a quick break and come back with the second set here tonight. This is Fort Scott Lady Tiger Volleyball on Duckbait TV. If you need residential, interior, or exterior painting done, or your cabinets refinished, contact the folks at Aura et Labora Painting Company, LLC. Fort Scott native Josh Regan is ready to help you with your project, so give them a call at 620-288-6617. Edward Jones has been advising customers in the world of finance for over 100 years. Financial advisor Jamie Armstrong continues that tradition in Fort Scott. Contact her by phone at 620-223-1866 or email Jamie at jamie.armstrong@edwardjones.com. If you're in need of livestock risk protection, multi-peril crop insurance, or help with your pasture or private products, Caleb Simpson has you covered. Call or text Caleb with Twin Pine Solutions at 620-215-4144. Patty West and Crystal Cowan are a mother-daughter duo selling personal and commercial insurance. If you need home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, business, or commercial insurance, they've got you covered. Visit them at 3 East Wall Street in downtown Fort Scott or call 620-223-0700. Need a full mani-pedi before big weekend plans? Or maybe you want some special nail art to celebrate your favorite singer's football-playing boyfriend? Either way, Delina Beatty is ready to help. Nails by Delin is on all the socials, and you can call or text at 620-704-1315. Nails by Delin at Spoiled Brat on 3rd Street in downtown Fort Scott. So just about to get the second set underway here this evening in match number 2. Fort Scott losing the first set there to Parsons 25-15. See what they can do here in set number 2. Again, Parsons coming into play here tonight, 13-18 overall, 4-4 in the league. Lady Tigers won their first match here tonight, so they are 6-23 and 2-7 in the league. Again, after tonight, Fort Scott travels to Paola on Thursday. We will not have that broadcast. We'll let our friends at Paola Sports Live take care of that. But the next Tuesday, we'll be back on the air. As the Lady Tigers will host senior night, they'll host Independence and Chanute a week from tonight. And we'll see if that'll be their final match or if they'll have a sub-state match next Saturday, October 26th. Again, Fort Scott currently in 18th place in the 4A East sub-state standings. The top 16 make a sub-state. And the top 4 will host each of those sub-states. It'll be just like softball and baseball last year. Fort Scott can get into a sub-state. Currently, right now, Eudora is the number 1 seed at 30-4. They're tied with Rock Creek, also at 30-4. I think they're guaranteed, based on how much time is left in the season, to host a sub-state next weekend. We're underway here in set number 2. And Fort Scott gets the first point. So the Lady Tigers take a 1-0 lead here. the Parsons block, but dug by the Lady Vikings. They'll work it near side. That went into the net. Fort Scott takes a quick 2-0 lead. That one off the Lady Tiger blocking in. And now Parsons ties up this second set. Sayla Ray back to serve for the Vikings. Dakota trying to come straight down the line and a little bit too strong for the Lady Tigers that time. So 3-2, Parsons with the lead here. Now 4-2. That one blocked by Parsons, but they couldn't keep it on Fort Scott's side of the court, so we're tied again, 4-all. Parsons retakes the lead there. And again, Cadence Mainers, the libero, back to serve. That one will drop in there for Robertson. Parsons increases their set lead by 2. And they're going to call a lift. Looked like Fort Scott was able to keep it going there, but they're going to call a lift on the Lady Tigers. And that'll fall on Fort Scott's side of the court once again. And now the Lady Tigers are going to take a timeout, trying to stop this 4-0 run by the Lady Vikings here. Liberty Savings has been in Fort Scott since 1919, helping community members with their banking needs for over 100 years. Visit them at 24 South Judson or call 620-223-0300. If you need residential, interior, or exterior painting done, or your cabinets refinished, contact the folks at Aura et Labora Painting Company, LLC. Fort Scott native Josh Regan is ready to help you with your project, so give them a call at 620-288-6617. Fort Scott gets the first point after the timeout. Back to a 3-point set here. 3-point advantage for Parsons. Fort Scott able to keep it alive, get it over near side to Clements. That one's blocked by Parsons, though. The Vikings get the point. And now lead by 4 again here in set number 2. They're winning the first set tonight, 25-15. That one in there for Baker, one of their outside hitters, one of their senior outside hitters. And the run continues here for Parsons. They now lead it by 6. That one served a little too long that front for the Lady Vikings. So Dakota will go back to serve here now for the Lady Tigers. Serve the back row. They'll work it near side. That one dug by Fort Scott. Get it over to Stewart. But it's returned by Parsons. That one dug a little sideways. Fort Scott gets another point. Trailing by just 4 now. In set number 2. Again, Fort Scott needs to win this second set to force a third and keep this match going. Dug, and just a little bit too wide that time for the Lady Tigers. That one a little short for the Lady Tigers. Fort Scott now back to within 4. It's now 13-9 here in set number 2. Off the Parsons block. Kept alive by the Vikings. They'll get it across the net. And another overpass for Fort Scott. They have really been able to control their passes much better tonight than they have at certain points in the season, but that went a little bit too long that time for the Tigers. It set up Parsons there at the net. That one will find the corner. Fort Scott back to within 4. Clements back to serve. And Comstock back on the court on the front row for the Lady Tigers. That one blocked by Fort Scott. Kendall Aiken and Kylie Comstock both there for the Lady Tigers. Serve a little bit too long that time. It's got back to within 3 now. Aiken with the serve. Parsons goes far side. Fort Scott able to keep it alive. Now they go to Comstock and hit it just a little bit too long that time. Back to a 4-point Parsons advantage here in set number 2. And but I don't think ever went over the net. Parsons was, it looked like confused, thinking that ball was going to go over the net. Maybe they thought something else was going on there, but either way, Fort Scott gets the point. Back to a 3-point set. That one off the Tiger block and in. Fort Scott doing a much better job tonight of directing that block where they want it to go. Go up with your arms to block it, but then you angle your hands at where you want it to go to keep it in bounds, keep it away from the opponents. Fort Scott doing a much better job of that here this evening in both of their matches. Dug wide, not out of bounds by Parsons. So Fort Scott back to a tied second set here, 16 all. Again, Fort Scott needs to win this set to force a third set for the match. Looks like the JV has done just that over on the other side as they're into their third set. Varsity trying to join them here. Ball goes to the corner. Kept alive by Parsons. That one goes over, kept alive by the Lady Tigers. And a kill there for Robertson. A long rally goes the way of Parsons. And they retake a 1-point lead here. Back onto the floor for the Lady Tigers, Grayson Pitts. She'll be on the back row with Avery Stewart and Rayleigh Cowan. Rayleigh with a nice dig there. Aiken, Hazelbaker, and Comstock all on the front row right now for the Lady Tigers. And that one is swung a little bit too long from the Vikings. Ford Scott back tied again here in set number 2. And that one out of bounds. So Fort Scott on top now. The Tigers were tied in the first set with Parsons, 8-all. And the Vikings won the next 8 points. Finished that set on a 17-7 run. Fort Scott hanging tough here in set number 2. Trying to force a third. Got Fort Scott out of system just a little bit that time. Had him scrambling on the back end. That one dug long and dug out of bounds. Another sub for the Lady Tigers. Sadie Claypool will come back on the court after Parsons gets to 20 points here. And that one, Fort Scott just having trouble returning serve right now. They trail by 3, getting close to the end of this second set here. They did a lot of work to get it back tied at 18 and now trail 21-18. Scott works it near side. Nice job there by Stewart to keep it in play. Now the Lady Tigers work it back to Stewart. That one dug wildly. Parsons does keep it alive, though. That one off of Fort Scott dig and out of bounds. And now 4 straight points for the Lady Vikings. Sees them with a 22-18 advantage here in set number 2, trying to close out this match. And then again, Fort Scott really struggling right now, all of a sudden, on those serve returns. Fort Scott gets the point back. Now they need to go on a run with Dakota on the service line. Parsons just 2 points away from winning this match, and that went a little bit too long again. So now it'll be match point here for Parsons. Leading 24-19. Scott works it to Aiken near side, but swings it wide. And Parsons takes this one 25-19. We'll take a quick break and be right back. This is Fort Scott Lady Tiger Volleyball on Duckbait TV. Liberty Savings has been in Fort Scott since 1919, helping community members with their banking needs for over 100 years. Visit them at 24 South Judson or call 620-223-0300. If you need residential, interior, or exterior painting done, or your cabinets refinished, contact the folks at Aura et Labora Painting Company, LLC. Fort Scott native Josh Regan is ready to help you with your project, so give them a call at 620-288-6617. Edward Jones has been advising customers in the world of finance for over 100 years. Financial advisor Jamie Armstrong continues that tradition in Fort Scott. Contact her by phone at 620-223-1866 or email Jamie at jamie.armstrong@edwardjones.com. If you're in need of livestock risk protection, multi-peril crop insurance, or help with your pasture or private products, Caleb Simpson has you covered. Call or text Caleb with Twin Pine Solutions at 620-215-4144. Patty West and Crystal Cowan are a mother-daughter duo selling personal and commercial insurance. If you need home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, business, or commercial insurance, they've got you covered. Visit them at 3 East Wall Street in downtown Fort Scott or call 620-223-0700. Need a full mani-pedi before big weekend plans? Or maybe you want some special nail art to celebrate your favorite singer's football-playing boyfriend? Either way, Delina Beatty is ready to help. Nails by Delin is on all the socials, and you can call or text at 620-704-1315. Nails by Delin at Spoiled Brat on 3rd Street in downtown Fort Scott. Well, welcome back. We're trying to make things quick here as they're going through their senior night festivities as well here in Coffeyville tonight. So we'll try to make this a quick wrap-up here. Tough luck for the Lady Tigers in match number 2 as they lost in 2 sets to Parsons, 25-15 and 25-19. Lady Tigers did take the first match of the night as they defeated Coffeyville, 25-18 and 25-19 in their 2 sets against the Lady Natives. So Fort Scott does come out of the night 1-1. They will travel to Parsons on Paola on Thursday. And again, as we mentioned earlier, we'll let our friends at Paola Sports Live cover that one, so we will not have the broadcast of that one on Thursday, but we will be back on the air for volleyball next Tuesday as the Lady Tigers will host Independence and Chanute, and will have their own senior night festivities that evening. And we'll see at that point, Fort Scott, how many of those matches against Independence and Chanute, which ones, if both, neither, whatever they need to do to win to get into that 16th spot and make a sub-state this year, as they came into tonight's action ranked 18th in 4A East. Again, it's just the top 16 that make it to sub-state. So Fort Scott with a win and a loss here tonight. We'll see what Labette County was able to do this evening, as I believe they were hosting the other tri-match. So we'll see how that went for them. But again, Fort Scott with a little bit of work to do, but still not too far off from making a sub-state tournament. So looking forward to the last 3 matches for the Lady Tigers regular season, and we'll see if they can get themselves in a sub-state as we go forward over the next week and a half. Thanks again for joining us here tonight, as again Fort Scott loses the second match. They won the first match against Coffeyville 25-18 and 25-19, but fall in the second match 25-15 and 25-19 to Parsons. So Fort Scott split on the night, and look forward to their next match on Thursday. Of course, we will have our next broadcast next Tuesday from the Tiger Dome, and our next broadcast overall will be on Friday as the Fort Scott Tiger football team will host Circle High School out of Towanda. Looking forward to that on Friday. It'll be the last non-league game of the regular season for the Tiger football team, and looking forward to that, as Circle does not have a great record, but they've played some really tough competition, so we'll see how they fare against the Tigers coming up on Friday. We'll have that for you. We'll also have the senior night festivities on Friday. I believe that starts at 6:30. Usually starts at 6:30, so we'll have that for you here on Duckbait TV as well. And that is not just for the football, that's for all of the fall athletes. So they will be celebrated on Friday night. So if you've got a volleyball player or a girls tennis player or whatever the case may be, they will be honored there on Friday night before the football game, and we'll have coverage of that ceremony for you as well here on Duckbait TV. So tune in a little bit early on Friday. We'll have that senior night. I want to say keep saying festivities. Ceremony. The senior night ceremony on, I guess festivities could work either way. But anyway, we'll have all of that for you on Friday night as the Tigers play Circle to close out their home slate of the regular season. So anyway, thanks again for joining us here tonight. For my dad, Willie, helping me get everything set up tonight and ready to go. To all the Duckbaits back home and to all of our viewers out there, thanks again for watching this production of Duckbait TV. Good night, Kansas.